sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The bottom of the Indians lineup brought the lumber last night and gave Corey Kluber an early lead. The reigning AL Cy Young Award winner took it from there, holding the Twins to just one hit in his second straight complete game victory over Minnesota. The Tribe has now won 5 of their last 6 and welcomed Josh Tomlin back to the starting rotation next on Sports Time Ohio. Across Lake Calhoun into downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, Target Field, where tonight the Indians look to continue their winning ways against the Twins. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Fresh off the heels where the Indians lost 5 out of 6, they've now won 5 out of their last 6, thanks to an offense that is riding high on the bats of 2 young players, Francisco Lindor and Giovanni Urshela.
The left side of the infield has been exciting to watch. Lindor, a 9-game hitting streak. He had 3 last night with that double, but this guy is infectious. That smile, he comes out, he has a lot of fun playing, and I think it rubs off on a lot of people. Urshela gave the Indians a lead early last night with a home run, and look at the first one to meet him right there is Lindor, and these guys have been fun to watch. 3 for 5 last night for Lindor. Giovanni Urshela had a pair, and he's hit in multiple hit games 4 of the last 9. These guys just continue to get better and better every week, I think, of the season.
Well, after Corey Kluber authored his second consecutive complete game victory against the Twins last night, Minnesota will be happy to see anyone other than Kluber on the mound tonight. Josh Tomlin makes the start for Cleveland. Andre Knott has more on that when we come back to Minnesota right after this. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's on Lovenet. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. Minneapolis as we get ready for baseball here at Target Field. A couple of Texans will square off tonight as Tyler Duffy goes for Minnesota, making just his second major league start. And Josh Tomlin will go for the Indians, making his season debut. And with more on that, let's go downstairs to Andre Nutt.
Interesting fact to go along with him making his starting debut of the 2015 season. The last major league appearance for Josh Tomlin was last September here at Target Field. A lot has changed. He's had to go through another year of rehab as he's had a different surgery. This was on the shoulder. He told me two things. I'm sick of being in Arizona and I'm ready to be back in the major leagues. And talking to people that have watched him pitch down in the minor leagues over the last couple of weeks, they say his velocity is not where it usually is, but he's been crisp and the innings have gone quick, and they think he'll do just fine here in the big leagues. He's excited. He says he never doubted himself in getting back here, guys. He said he was worried for a little while, but he says, you know what, after going through Tommy John surgery a year ago, he said he could go through anything. His teammates are excited to have him back, and Terry Francona even told me, he goes, he's such a good teammate that I have a nervous itch to me right now because I want him to do well. So it'll be interesting to see Josh Tomlin back finally, after going through another year of going through rehab and everything else that goes along with surgery as a pitcher.
Well, Josh Tomlin has always been a fighter, you know, and when you go out there, he's never been blessed with great stuff, but he challenges hitters, he throws strikes, he comes out there, and, you know, it is so hard to rehab down. He did it once with the elbow, had the surgery this March, and had to come back from it again. You're right. He's paid his dues, and he is a good teammate. You hope the best for Josh Tomlin, and he can come right in here, and he's going to have to move it around, change speeds, throw strikes. He knows exactly what he has to do.
One thing about Josh Tomlin, he is Texas tough. His best season in the big leagues was back in 2011 when he won 12 games that year, had a 4.25 ERA, and his elbow was killing him all season long, but he would not give in. So Tomlin makes his season debut for the Indians. Excited for Josh as the Tribes tries to stay red hot. They've won 5 out of 6, looking to make it 2 straight in this series over the Twins. The first pitch is next. Blast by Urshela. Abraham Almonte screaming around third. He will score. Swing and a miss. Hunter goes down Hackett. Swung on and missed. Corey blows it by him. The Indians take the series opener by a final score of 6-1. And we are ready ready for baseball tonight here at Target Field in Minneapolis. And let's take a look quickly at the Indians starting lineup for Terry Francona. It's brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Jose Ramirez in the leadoff spot, followed by the switch-hitting Francisco Lindor, who had 3 hits last night. Yan Gomes will bat third. Then it's Santana, Urshela, and Abraham Almonte, who is leaving a mark on the Minnesota Twins this year. Roberto Perez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Mike Aviles rounded out.
Our Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher is Tyler Duffy, making his second start. He was roughed up in his debut in Toronto, but getting a look at the mound in Target Field for the very first time in his career. Those numbers are from AA and AAA this year.
And his first pitch of the night in there for a called strike.
He went 2 innings, gave up 5 hits and 6 runs in his first start. And he said he learned something from that start. When you can't throw the ball 100 miles an hour, don't try.
Right.
Because he was overthrowing and obviously pumped up, and you're facing the Toronto Blue Jays, one of the best offenses in the league. And he realized, hey, that's not me. I was out of my game. I've got to settle down and just be who I am. And that happens to a lot of young pitchers. He's only 24 years old.
And that's a pretty good hit lineup that he had to face.
Exactly. Yeah,
Up and away.
You make one mistake and they go. He gave up 2 home runs in the 2 innings, so that. But you have to start somewhere.
Missed outside again, so from 0-2 to 2-2.
Tyler.
That up foul, and that's out of play.
I think a key for him tonight, I'm talking about Tyler Duffy, would be to have a nice 1-2-3 first inning. Give him a little confidence, but if you're the Indians, you'd love to get on the board first, the top half of the first, and not let him settle in.
Well, Rick, last night they didn't score in the first, but they jumped Trevor May for a couple in the second, scored again in the fourth.
Good pitch.
Backdoor curveball, and a strikeout to start for Tyler Duffy.
Take a look at this pitch on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's a backdoor breaking ball right on the outside edge. It looked like it wrapped around the plate, but close enough that he gets the call. Good pitch.
Francisco Lindor. Lindor has hit in 9 straight games, averaging almost 2 hits a game during his streak. And in addition to getting on base with the hits, he's been moving runners with sacrifice bunts, and yet in his last 17 games, he has a dozen runs batted in.
He's been fine. He hasn't been overmatched. He's hitting the ball where it's pitched. He gets to 2 strikes and he finds a way to put the ball in play. He's doing exactly what he has to. He's learning every day.
Walked him on 4 straight.
You know, it's not an easy thing to come up and go right into a number 2 hole and hit like he has done. Let's check the Twins defense, which is brought to you by Jeep. In the outfield, it's going to be Rosario on the left, Hicks is in center, Hunter over in right, Plouffe is at third, Escobar at short, Dozier at second, Mauer at first, and Herman behind the plate. Last night we saw the arm of Rosario. He had a couple of assists, and it's the 3rd straight game. He's got a great throwing arm from out there.
Sam Holbrook has the plate. Crew chief Greg Gibson down at second base. Yan Gomes steps in. He had 1 hit last night. It was a double. And Gomes has hit in 4 straight games, 7 for his last 19. So he's starting to heat it up offensively. Rick, you mentioned the assist for Rosario last night, who's been incredible throwing out runners for the Twins. After the ball game, Trevor May deadpan to the reporters, I think that's his 55th assist when I'm pitching. I'm glad we've got guys with cannons out there. And then he said, quote, I've never seen a throw that perfect, end quote. Talented writer Phil Miller for the Star Tribune says, sure he has. All you have to do is watch Corey Kluber pitch. Bouncing ball to third. Plouffe goes to second. There's one on to first. Safe. Gomes just beat it out. Twins tried to go the long way to turn 2. Paul Molitor and the video crew will take a look and see if they want to challenge.
Yeah, it just wasn't hit hard enough, and Gomes was able to beat it out because he's very average going down the line. Nothing Lindor could do to beat it out. It's close. It's going to be close. Depending on what angle you look at. Wow.
I don't think you can challenge that if you're Molitor.
It would be tough in the early going here. That's going to be bang, bang. And if they can, he's not sure yet. They're taking 2 or 3 looks at it. I think he's going to go back into the dugout. What do you think?
Well, that last really slow down replay looked like it was maybe worth a challenge.
He's going back
and
down.
He says no.
You know, it's so close. And he was called safe, so you're going to have a lot of evidence to get that overturned. And it's just not, you just can't tell. Way too close. There's 2 outs in the first inning. Do you want to waste it there when you're not sure?
I think you've got to be 100% sure if you're going to go in the first inning.
Yeah,
maybe that's
to
why.
get that overturned. I would agree with that.
See if Carlos Santana can take advantage. He was held hitless last night. Santana's done a good job at driving in runs with 2 outs, albeit this would be a tough scenario with Gomes, who doesn't run all that well at first base.
All low for Santana in this park. He has the second most home runs as a visiting player coming in, so he could. He's in scoring position for Carlos here. I think Bautista has the most with 11, and the strange thing is he's not even in this division.
Only plays there 3 games a year.
Yeah, right.
Santana pops up to end the inning. Indians do not score. The Twins are coming to bat. Brought to you by Toyota. Aaron Hicks in the leadoff spot. Then it's Brian Dozier, who did not start last night, sat out the game. Joe Mauer hits third. Sano, Plouffe, Hunter in the middle. Rosario, Herman, and Escobar rounding it out. Tomlin's first pitch is popped up. Shallow left, and comes Aviles. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, let's take a look at Northern Ohio Honda dealer starting pitcher Josh Tomlin. His first start at the major leagues. You can see he's made 6 rehab starts down in the minor leagues. He's 1-2. But he's just happy to get back. All the hard work you have to go through to get back to this level, to even compete.
1 walk.
Yeah, well, that's him. That's his. That's been his MO from day one.
And that's probably why Hicks swung at the first pitch.
Yeah.
You expect him. The scouting reports will probably say to the Minnesota hitters, he'll be in the strike zone or around it.
No, just like Corey Kluber, except Kluber's stuff is much better. But you have to be aggressive with Josh Tomlin, I would think.
2-0. Brian Dozier with 24 home runs to lead Minnesota. High pop, left field. Avila's drifting over toward the line. 2 down.
Let's check the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. Behind Tomlin tonight, that'll be Avilas in left, Almonte in center, Chisenhall over in right, Urshela and Lindor on the left side, Ramirez and Santana on the right. Perez gets the start behind the dish tonight. Done a great job this year throwing out attempted base stealers.
Now Joe Mauer, 1 for 3. Last night the Twins' only hit came off his bat, and it went for a home run. Mauer broke up Kluber's no-hitter, Corey Kluber's no-hitter, the last time Kluber faced the Twins back in Cleveland, and then had the only hit against him last night. Terry Francona said afterwards, he's a pretty good hitter. If you're going to lose a no-hitter or your shutout, that's the way to do it. It was a no-doubter.
Yeah, right. It was on a little cutter.
Corey said afterwards, well, maybe on second thought, I wish it would have been a single because then they don't score.
Well, if that's all you have to worry about, giving up 1 hit, that's not too shabby, is it? Yeah, he has been a treat to watch lately.
Once again leading the way for this Indians pitching staff despite the lack of run support and the wins and losses that have suffered because of it. But he has really not wavered. He's been the same guy. Sure, he's been frustrated at times. He wouldn't be human. Even though the nickname Klubot may suggest otherwise.
Boy, he is. He's like a machine.
The 3-1 from Tomlin. Line drive, base hit, left center. And the Twins have a 2-out base runner. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Table setters for the Indians, the guys at the top, Ramirez and Lindor. When they get on, the Indians offense goes. And for Josh Tomlin, use the gaps. It's a big yard.
Yeah, he's the big part of the field.
And he's a fly ball pitcher.
Yeah, and if you can keep it, from alley to alley, he'll be fine. Although the ball is carrying very well because of the heat and the humidity.
Mauer wasn't even off the bag.
And he wasn't even looking. He almost took his foot off the bag. You see the umpire sneak in there?
He almost fell down.
Well, watch this. Santa, he was off.
He did take. If Santana had the glove on him, he'd have been out.
Yeah. He moved that left leg thinking that ball's coming his way.
Thought it was going to hit him, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Well, he wasn't sure if Santana's going to catch it.
Miguel Sano, swing and a miss. Sano, the DH, 0 for 2. He did draw a walk last night, but he was erased on a double play ball after that. Mauer has 1 stolen base on the year. He's been caught once as well. But Tomlin going to keep a close eye on you. He does a tremendous job when it comes to the running game. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Two-strike delivery. Swung on and missed. He went right back to it. And Sano goes down swinging to end the first. No score after one in Minnesota. Window Systems game time temperature hot, 89, humid, feels like it's in the 90s, and a very light breeze, although it looks like it's picked up blowing in from right field.
Tank tops and shorts. Yeah. That's what you wear today.
And make sure the ice cubes are big. They won't last long anyway. Giovanni Urshela to lead off in the second, and it's inside, ball one. Pitch way outside. And a foul right back. Last night, a changeup went a long way off the bat of Giovanni Urshela into the bullpen. And it gave the Tribe an early 2-0 lead. One they would not relinquish. Three balls and a strike. And he walked him. Tribe gets their leadoff man aboard here in the second. And up comes Abraham Almonte. Our Levin Furniture player profile on Abraham Almonte. Originally with the Yankees and bounced around between Seattle and San Diego before coming over in exchange for Mark Zipchinski. And he has really hurt Minnesota. In fact, when we got here, I ran into one of the Twins broadcasters that said, "You guys didn't bring Almonte with you, did you?" Said, "Oh yeah, he's here."
Well, he's already surpassed all his numbers that he had over in San Diego in the brief time that he's been here, as far as homers, doubles, triples, RBIs.
That's a fresh start for him. He said he just feels free and probably playing without any kind of burden of expectation.
Sometimes it's better. A change is better for people. Doesn't work out like that all the time, but there's times that it does.
Pulls it foul. You know, the other thing, and I don't know, I mean, you can't discount it, but I don't know how much it ultimately really matters one way or the other. But, you know, he comes into a clubhouse where he's got some other young players around.
Yeah.
It's not like this kid's right out of high school, but he's a young player, and, you know, he's got Urshela, he's got Lindor, he's got some other young guys, some Latin players that speak his language.
Right.
He probably just feels like he fits right in, even though it's a brand new situation.
Comfort zone.
He goes down quickly, though, here. Isn't that amazing? Duffy walked Urshela, really didn't want much to do with him at all. But he comes right back and attacks Almonte and strikes him out with the off-speed stuff.
Well, this is that's a teaser. That's a ball that looks good. It starts about mid-thigh, but it ends up out of the strike zone by the time Almonte gets ready to swing. So a good pitch. Got him to chase after it. Gets out number one.
Tyler Duffy, born in Houston, pitched at Rice, which is not far from downtown Houston. Collegiately, he pitched out of the bullpen, which is one of those deals where in college you play on the weekends. He said he would pitch all 3 games on the weekend.
Let's go. It's a weekend. Time to pitch.
He said that that experience, though, as a college pitcher, where he would literally pitch, you know, Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe again. He said it's helped him in this situation, and that, you know, he had that start against Toronto and he got beat up. But he said I remembered in college, you have to have a short memory. You got to bounce back. You got to pitch again. If you pitch bad one day, you're going to come right back and go again. And he did that because he went back down to the minor leagues, had a tremendous start. And then he comes right back up for another opportunity here.
And got back to what he does best. And he said he was overthrown in his first start, and it's totally understandable. You know, when you look at, we've witnessed quite a few guys, Cody Anderson and a number of them, get their first start and their miles per hour is up by 3 or 4 than it's what their normal is, because they're just amped up. It's a dream come true.
Yeah, that adrenaline surge.
And it doesn't help. You know, it doesn't help you. That's where you got to back off, especially at this level, because guys, when you make mistakes, they don't miss a lot of pitches. Or maybe in the minor leagues they do.
There you go. They appeal. He did not. And the count is 2-1.
This looked like it was a real slow, a little more tilt to it, but he was able to hold up. That's close.
Might have caught a break there.
Yeah, that was close.
And a good pitch to Rip, and fouled it back with a fastball. Duffy, because he's out of Texas, I suppose, and because he's a big guy on the mound, he's been compared, ready for this?
Yeah.
To John Lackey.
Well, we've seen John Lackey. He hopes he has a career like John Lackey.
Well, that's true.
If you remember Lackey's rookie year, what was it, 2002 with the Angels?
World Series.
Started Game 7 of the World Series.
Perez down swinging, back-to-back Ks after the leadoff walk.
Both coming on breaking balls.
Arcia in the driver's seat shows you last night, bottom of the order, did the damage. 10 hits, scored 6, drove in 5. Chisenhall with 3 hits. Aviles had 3 hits. Urshela and Almonte each had a pair. Popped him up. That should end the inning. Plouffe, the third baseman. No runs, no hits, a man left. Middle of the second, no score in Minnesota. in the lineup due up. Trevor Plouffe to lead it off. And he showed bunt, took a strike. Not something that Giovanni Urshela was expecting. Plouffe has 16 homers on the year.
Maybe just trying to bring him in a little bit.
That's going to drift out of play.
Plouffe is 3 for 8 in his career against Josh Tomlin.
And the 1-2. Teaser couldn't get him to chase. Overall, Plouffe is 3 for his last 16 on the year. Swung on and missed. A little fastball that was running away, and that's a second strikeout for Tomlin. Our great clip of the game from last night. Corey Kluber with another dominant performance against Minnesota. And what's really impressive is when you just take a look at what he's done against Minnesota this year. He's faced him 3 times, and he's given up 7 hits.
Well, they don't want to face him again, and we still play Minnesota about 8 more times, so I would think they're going to catch him again once, if not twice. He's beaten him 4 straight times. But that's behind him right now. They've got work to do, because tomorrow Tommy Malone's going to start. He'll be put on the roster. This guy, I think, that starts will be sent back out, I would think. They have some issues with their pitching. The injuries, we showed you the report last night, and it seems like 5 or 6 guys are on the disabled list, all pitchers.
Swung on and missed, and down goes Hunter. 3 in a row struck out by Tomlin.
That's what Josh needs, that curveball right there. That could be a very effective pitch for him. So not only the right-handers, but the left-handers as well. This is going to be our Circle K strikeout. Just takes something off. It stayed up there for a while. You don't want to keep it this high. He gets away with one there. But it's his 3rd straight strikeout.
It also helps when you got a hitter like Torrey Hunter, who I don't want to say he's struggling, but we talked about it last night. You know, he's been doing some work trying to stay closed.
Yeah.
If he's staying closed, he maybe stays on that breaking ball a little bit better. But right now, he's just pulling off a tad. And
been working to keep that front shoulder in and down and get through the baseball.
Eddie Rosario looks at a ball low and away, 1-1. Ground ball towards second. Ramirez falls down, gets up, throws, got him. And the inning is over. Twins go 1-2-3. Josh Tomlin has already fanned 3 on the night. No score, third inning. Let's go down to Andre Knott, who has a little information on Mike Aviles as he steps in.
Yes, Mike Aviles went 3 for 4 last night, and Terry Francona believes, and Mike believes, it's because he had a cortisone shot in his left wrist 2 weeks ago. He's been dealing with a sore wrist, and it was difficult for him to hit pitches in the inside. He said he felt like he never felt before last night swinging the bat, and he said it's the first time all year where he's felt this healthy.
Yeah, well, let's hope that keeps up.
It's nice to swing when you don't have any pain. Well, Andre said he was going to get 3 hits. He was absolutely right.
The soothsayer.
The amazing Kreskin.
Chopped it foul. I would have to imagine, too, if you've got any kind of a wrist or hand problem, the worst thing is if you check. You're trying to check your swing.
Or swing and a miss. Sometimes when you don't hit the ball. For wrist problems, you want to hit the ball and put it in play. You're afraid to swing and miss because it will hurt.
No balls, 2 strikes. Aviles leading off for the Tribe here in the third. Against Tyler Duffy. 5th round pick of the Twins 3 years ago out of Rice. And he's got his 4th strikeout of the night.
Well, live Indians baseball is back in 2015 with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio, broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Just download MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball.
Top of the order, Jose Ramirez out on strikes his first time up.
I'll tell you what, that first time through the order, Duffy has established that breaking ball that is pretty darn good. Already has 4 strikeouts the first time through. And he walked 2.
And a ground ball. Diving stop by Mauer. He'll flip it to first. 2 down.
Well, Mauer, you're going to see take 1 step and dive into the hole. He smothers it, and there you see Duffy doing his job covering first base. Turns out to be an easy play, but he took a hit away from Ramirez.
And with 2 down, Francisco Lindor coming to the plate. Lindor takes a strike.
How about that score in Boston today? It was like the Patriots against the Seahawks. What a 22-10.
Super
Red
Bowl
Sox
rematch. Well, Boston scored 15 last night. Just hours after learning that their manager John Farrell had to take a leave of absence to undergo treatment for lymphoma, and they bounced right back against Felix Hernandez.
Of all people.
They tagged him for 10 runs and 2 1/3.
Yeah, you could have won some money on that if you said, guess who started for Seattle?
Yeah,
your
right.
last guess would have been Hernandez.
Unbelievable. And it was actually 22-2 going into the 8th inning. And the Mariners scored 4 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th.
That can happen in Boston.
Yeah.
That certainly can. We're heading there next. That could be a big offensive park. Games there, they're never out of reach.
Yankees beat Toronto for the 2nd day in a row.
Tanaka, complete game.
Their lead over the Blue Jays now a 1.5 games.
That was their first time I think a starter went more than 6. We told you about it. Was it 15 games when they were in Cleveland?
One hopper to third. And a close play, but Plouffe throws him out. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll head to the bottom of the third. No score.
later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Back here in the bottom half of the third inning, Josh Tomlin coming on. He's going to face Herman, Escobar, and back up to the top of the lineup, Hicks. Josh has given up 1 hit so far. Been mixing his pitches very well. Herman getting the start tonight. Yesterday it was Suzuki behind the plate. Figure with a day game tomorrow he'll be back in there. The 0-1 pitch. Little cutter inside and misses. The one thing you have to like with Josh Tomlin if you're a defensive guy is he's going to be around the zone and you are ready for every pitch. 1-1 on the outside corner. It is called. So Josh now ahead in the count. 1-2. So both these guys making, well, Josh's first start this year. And Tyler Duffy, his second start, have done quite well through the first 3 frames. Tomlin ready for the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball. Changeup. You can tell Perez had that glove down. He wanted it down in the strike zone. Minnesota looking to stop the streak the Indians have been on. Like a high breaking ball he got away with out of the zone that's fouled back. They won the first game back in Cleveland in that 3-game series 10-9. And remember, it was a shootout. The Indians were down 6-0. And that was the game I think that got the Indians going. Then they beat Minnesota the next 2 games and they come in here and win the first one. High fastball, throws it by him. Strikeout number 4 for Josh Tomlin. Hey, Andre, I remember we talked about it with Tito. He was talking that Santana had to work his way back at first. What do you got for us?
Well, Chris Johnson had played 6 games in a row, and there's a lefty pitching tomorrow, so he knew Chris was going to be out there. Look, he's not saying Carlos Santana can't play first base. He's basically saying you got to work at it, and if you're not the best defensive first baseman, you're not going to play every day. But he said, look, I'm going to get you out there. Just be prepared and keep working at it. So that's something Santana's going to have to do.
But Tito also says when he works at it, he's very good at what he does.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing that he says. Work at it, and you can be out there. But I think at the same time, they've liked what they've seen out of Chris Johnson in the 6 days that he has played.
Well, and they're going to continue to look at it because, you know what, if you got to continue to work at your craft if you're going to improve. They felt he played better last year than he's doing right now, and I think that's why a little competition, a little push.
And I think you got a lot of that going on right now with this team, honestly, Arch.
Well, I think we'll see it the rest of the year, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of open spaces here, I would think.
Yeah, they are, and I think a little bit with Santana. I think a lot of people, because he came up trying to play third base, and he worked so hard at that last year that it was easy for him to keep working. I think this year he just thought first base was his, and it kind of played into what's happened with him.
Well, one of my thoughts is when Brantley and Kipnis get back, that's 2 less positions. So,
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You know, there's going to be a lot of fighting going on here for some show and some for at bats.
We'll put it this way: everybody's been real happy the last couple of days when they've been playing.
Right.
Let's see when we get to Boston at the end of that trip how everybody feels.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. I can't wait. Competition sometimes is what makes it go round. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball away, just misses. That's the pitch I think Josh could use for the left-handers tonight. Take a little bit off. Starts that outside the plate. Tries to get it to come back into the strike zone. So the 2-2 pitch now. Got him to pop it up. Came right back with it and got a feel for it. Lindor calling him off. That'll be out number 2.
So first time through the order, what are you seeing from Josh Tomlin that you like?
Throwing strikes, getting ahead of the hitters. He's commanded everything. He just missed with that one curveball. He came right back with it to get a feel for it. And I like the way him and Perez are working together. They're working quickly. Got a nice rhythm going.
Seems to be able to mix everything up.
Well, he is. He's got the 3, but you know, he's got 1 ground ball out. He's got 4 strikeouts, 3 pop-ups. So that's Josh Tomlin keeping him off balance.
Aaron Hicks flied to left his first time up, and He's 0 for 5 in the series. Good looking young ball player, though. Made a mistake defensively last night early in the game that turned out to be costly.
Yes, it was.
And 2-out line drive, single to left for Hicks.
That's okay if they want to take their hits there, and that's fine. That's exactly what you're going to have to do with Tomlin. Last night, this is what Hicks did last night. Almonte hitting. There was 1 out, and he got a little change up away, and he was fooled on that pitch. It got over his head, and it went for a triple. And then the very next hitter, which was Urshela, hit a 2-run home run. So that got the Indians going early.
Well, that 2-out single keeps the inning alive for a dangerous Twins hitter, Brian Dozier.
Yeah, he had the night off last night. And you know what? I sort of like this lineup with Hicks leading off and Dozier second. Because, you know, Hicks has been playing well. At least he swung the bat well against the Indians. And this guy's got a little more pop. He's just down 1 more in the order, and they got their table setters there.
Well, I was going to say, it's probably a better chance for Hicks to get on than the number 9 hitter in front of Dozier.
Yeah. This guy loves the fastball, especially up in the zone. He can drive it. Not a big guy, but a great athlete.
Tomlin knows that, of course, and drops a curveball in for strike 1.
Look at extra base hits. Second in the league. Now you look at Josh Donaldson with 61. Would you think Dozier has more than Mike Trout, Nelson Cruz, the big boppers? You would never think that.
Bob right back. Got his pitch to hit. It looked like he was turning it loose, but could not square it up.
That's what happens when you can throw breaking balls for strikes. You make one mistake right there, and he fouled it straight back. He missed it.
Josh Tomlin, born in Tyler, Texas, makes his home now in White House, where he went to high school. Ground ball right at the shortstop Lindor. He'll go to second to end the inning. 3 scoreless here in Minnesota. Jersey, courtesy of Sherwin-Williams. That'll take place Saturday, August 29th. The Indians will host the Angels. Enjoy a post-game fireworks show as well. That is presented by Brilliant Electric Sign Company. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets. Yan Gomes to lead it off for the Tribe here in the fourth. Scoreless game. Duffy is not allowed a hit. He's walked 2, struck out 4. Inside, he missed.
Tyler.
Little bit outside. Now the 2-2, and Gomes just barely got a piece of that.
Well, that's been his strikeout pitch. Is that curveball? It's pretty good, and it's down. And I think it's just that Gomes is such a good hitter. He's able to just get a piece to stay alive. Not many hitters would have.
That was up, but he fouls it off.
Well, changing the eye level. He's figuring, boy, if he hits that ball that's down there, that curveball I've been striking guys out with, it's time to throw him a high fastball, and he fouled that off as well.
Oh, almost got him. He just barely got out of the way.
He can't believe he didn't get hit. He let out a deep breath. He thought that ball was going to hit him. I want to see if they have that after it goes inside. See if we can. He stood up and just let out a deep sigh.
Got him to chase. He finally took enough off that breaking ball that Gomes couldn't get a piece of it. And that's 5 strikeouts now for Duffy. Rick, why can't they lay off the breaking ball?
I don't know. I mean, he's starting out. He's proving early in the count he can throw it for strikes. And then when he gets to 2 strikes, he's getting guys to expand their zones. 3 in a row where they expanded, and Gomes does it right here. So they just can't lay off of it. It's tantalizing. You see it, but he's starting it out mid-thigh. If he starts it out, you can pick up the spin. You hope to take that pitch. You know, is that a changeup first pitch here to Santana? So I'll tell you what, this kid's got a little confidence going right now, and he's got a little feel for his off-speed pitches.
Just inside.
He walked 1 in the first inning with 1 out, and then the leadoff walk in the second inning. But then again, that's been it. Then he's been on target.
And a weak ground ball to first. Mauer will flip it. 2 quick outs. Join Todd Richards, the head coach of the Blue Jackets, Tribe skipper Jim Tressel, or Tribe skipper Terry Francona, and YSU president Jim Tressel as the Positive Coaching Alliance presents Breakfast with the Coaches. Here from the panel, they'll discuss challenges of coaching, their influences and experience that have made them successful. Call 440-670-3580 for ticket information. Giovanni Urshela walked his only time up, and that curveball misses inside.
Oh, Tyler.
Bullseye with a fastball.
Well, his fastball is about 92, but when you can locate it on the outside edge like he did, he's moving it in and out. He's elevating it off his curveball.
Inside again. 3-1. Rick, I remember in his first at bat, he really went in off the plate to Urshela, trying to back him off, and it looks like the same game plan here second time around.
Yep. Well, he hit the changeup out. Well, there's his third walk.
Twice he's put Urshela on base. And this 2-out free pass brings up Abraham Almonte.
Center fielder of 35, Abraham Almonte.
Let's see if the Indians can make him pay for one of these free passes. In his Indians debut, Almonte went 4 for 5 against Minnesota with 2 doubles, a home run, 2 runs driven in, and he scored 3 times. And then last night he came to Minnesota and went 2 for 4 with a double and a triple. But so far tonight he's seen nothing but strikes.
Well, from what we've seen, he loves to hit the fastball. We've never met one he didn't like to swing at. I mean, early sample size.
Bauer makes the play unassisted. And we'll go to the bottom of the 4th at Target Field, still scoreless. Check out Corey Kluber's numbers against the Twins this year. Back-to-back complete games, 3 hits or less. First time since '74 when Gaylord Perry did it. Back-to-back complete games against the same team, El Presidente in '94. 1 hitter where the only hit allowed was a homer since 1993 when Tommy Kramer did it against the Texas Rangers.
Tommy Kramer, how about that? A 1-hitter. I remember that game.
Yeah. Josh Tomlin making his season debut here tonight, and he has pitched very well so far. 3 innings. He's given up 2 hits. He struck out 4.
There you go.
Certainly doesn't look like a guy who hasn't made a start in almost a year.
You're right. Not at the big league level anyway. You can make them down in the minor leagues, but up here it's a little bit different.
Last September, Josh and his wife Carly welcome their daughter Mackenzie into the world. Mackenzie was born on September the 2nd.
What a great day that is.
The 0-2 offering. Foul out of point. I think one of the reasons, aside from the fact he's just a good guy and he's completely selfless, I think one of the reasons everybody loves Josh Tomlin is he's a position player trapped in a pitcher's body. You know?
Yeah, I guess you could say
he
that.
has the mentality. He wants to be out there running around every day with the guys. Weak ground ball hit towards short. Lindor on the big hop. Goes low. Santana can't dig it out. And Mauer will go to second base. Well, I don't know what happened to Lindor. He got the nice big hop. Should have made the play a little more manageable for him. But his throw was in the dirt.
Yeah, here you go. There's nothing tough about it. It's just an easy hop. The throw over there, it's a little low, and it doesn't get picked. It goes into the seat, so that's a straight error on Lindor. That's what you don't want to do with the leadoff hitter. Now they will start with a runner in scoring position. So now Josh has got his work cut out.
Miguel Sano. Tomlin fed him curveballs first time up and struck him out. Now he goes at him with a high fastball for ball one.
Just to get him back off the plate in there. That's a purpose pitch because he was able to get him to swing at a couple of breaking balls away, swing and miss, but you got to let him know I can use the inner part of the plate as well.
There's that curveball, and it drops over the outside corner for a strike. Fastball in off the dish.
Fastball in, breaking ball away. Fastball in, breaking ball away.
Two one, bullseye, evens the count. Popped up, and that will find the seats.
That one he tried to go inside and hit for a strike in there, and he fouled it off. So watch this. It's right on the inside corner. If he takes it, it's a strike. And it ties him up. He didn't have much swinging room right there. He fouled it off to the right side. It remains a 2-2 count.
Just missed up high with a slow breaking ball. Checked his swing. Tomlin looks Mauer back and throws out Sano. Boy, is that a big out for him.
He certainly needed that.
Our AT&T U-verse rewind. Let's take a look at what Tomlin has done so far. He has 4 strikeouts in the ball game, only 2 singles allowed, and he's kind of been the same Josh Tomlin we've come to expect over the years.
No doubt, maybe with the velocity not what it once was, but he's still working, changing speeds, controlling.
Trevor Plouffe struck out his first time up. And a little bit high, ball one. To right field, high in the air, deep. Chisenhall on the track, and he'll make the catch. Bauer will tag. He'll head to third, but there are now 2 down in the inning. So Plouffe drove it to the warning track, but trying to go oppo with just maybe a little breeze knocking it down. But Lonnie Chisenhall looked like he was on the track and then came back in onto the grass, ultimately to make the catch.
Yeah, and now a chance for Josh to get out of the inning. Pick up his defense. That would be nice.
Well, in order to do that, he'll have to deal with the very dangerous and ageless Torrey Hunter. Or he could pitch around him and go after Rosario, but he's no picnic either. And he's a left-handed hitter.
I think that's exactly why Perez was out there, to talk to him about what he wants to do and how he wants to go about it right here.
Well, first time up, granted there was nobody on base, but boy, he went through Hunter in a hurry. It's not like Torrey hasn't ever seen Tomlin before. Uh-oh, tough play. Bare hand grab and throw. Got him!
Wow.
Oh, sensational by Giovanni Urshela. A do-or-die bare hand grab. He got rid of it on the money to end the inning, and we stay scoreless through 4. Your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. By the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough. No score. 5th inning. And for Cleveland, bottom third of the order due up. Roberto Perez, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Mike Aviles.
Yeah, the Indians looking for their first hit in the ball game. They've had 3 walks.
Perez went down on strikes his first time up. And that's outside ball 1. Nice curveball, drops it in for a strike. Evens up 1-1. Minnesota looking for a quality start. They haven't had one against Cleveland. Going back to that series in Cleveland, and you look at last night, they've knocked them out early every game. But Duffy has been brilliant thus far for Paul Molitor. And I think a big reason why Minnesota has fallen below the 500 mark, losing 18 of their last 25, is because they just haven't been able to get any kind of consistent work from their starters.
Right. Well, this kid's doing a nice job today. That's his pitch, the curveball. He's been able to throw it for a get-me-over strike. He's upset at himself there that he left one for him to hit. I think he wanted to expand the zone with a 1-2 count, and he didn't get it down. But he's thrown some changeups. First pitch to the left-handers for strikes, and he's moved his fastball around.
Down on strikes is Roberto Perez. That's a half dozen Ks for Tyler Duffy.
Let's check this McDonald's I'm loving it. To end the inning, Urshela comes in. The only play he had was to barehand it and get Hunter. And I said, Josh Tomlin, you're going to have to pick up your defense, which he did. And then his defense comes back and picks him up on that play there after they made an error to make him work a little harder. That was a really nice play. He is very solid at third.
The thing that makes that barehand play so, I think, really difficult to make is that if you're a third baseman and you're charging hard, you don't have time to grab it, then get a grip and throw. It has to be all in one motion. So he's not grabbing it with the palm of his hand and all 5 of his fingers. He's grabbing that with his index finger, his second finger, and his thumb. He's just grabbing it and throwing it all in one motion.
And, you know, you're on a dead run. You're not standing still. Yeah. It's not like you're picking it up standing still. You're on the move, and you've got to get your footwork down. Really difficult play. Let's check it out in the slow motion and watch his hand. There it is.
He actually did grab that with 3 fingers.
Well, it's almost like a 3-finger change-up grip, and then he'll get the feel for the ball.
Wow.
But he has to get rid of it all in one motion.
Now, Lonnie Chisenhall draws a walk. And, you know, I talked to Bert Blyleven before the game, and that was the thing he really liked about Duffy, is that he hadn't walked many batters. You looked at his numbers in the minor leagues. He'd only given up 30 walks in 119 innings. But already tonight, that's 4 free passes. It's the only way the Indians have had a base run.
Right. What happens, so when you get to the big leagues and you get hammered like he did in his first start, you're not going to be as fine. You're not going to throw as many strikes. You're going to, you know, not give in, which is okay if you can come back and pitch around your walks. He's only walked 1 in 1 inning, and he's done it 4 times. He has 6 strikeouts.
Yeah, he hasn't doubled up on the walks, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. He had a 1-out walk in the first. He walked the leadoff man in the second. He had a 2-out walk in the fourth, and he's got a 1-out walk here in the fifth.
And after that leadoff walk to Urshela in the second, he punched out the next 2 batters.
Right. Thing is, here you got to mix in a hit if you're an Indian, and then put a couple runners on and see what happens.
Mike Aviles looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Duffy yet to allow a hit. Aviles looks, he takes 1-1. Rick, when you're facing a guy like Tyler Duffy, you don't have any kind of book, you don't have any track record to go on. And so first time around, you see, and he's got this pretty good breaking ball. How does that change the hitter's maybe game plan or approach and what they're looking for, how they attack?
They have to make adjustments.
Big hop to third. Plouffe goes to second. There's one on the first. Double play. Tyler Duffy living a charmed life through 5. He's walked 4, but he has struck out 6. No score. Bottom of the fifth inning, bottom third of the Twins order coming up. Eddie Rosario, Chris Herman, and Eduardo Escobar.
Josh Tomlin has been up to the call because he's only given up 2 hits today. Hasn't walked anybody.
Breaking ball pulled foul.
He's backhanded play on the move.
Well, and also too, Rick, I love what we saw from Tomlin last inning. He makes his pitch, gets his ground ball, and you get the error. Now the leadoff man's in scoring position to start the inning. And what does he do? Bing, bang, boom. He's out of the inning. He tomahawked that ball.
Did he?
Deep right field. See you later. Eddie Rosario with his 7th home run of the season. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead.
Well, that ball looked like it was shoulder height. Take a look at the pitch. It's upstairs and inside, and he was able to get the barrel head to it. I can't believe it. That ball was in, and that ball just took off. The way he caught it, that's hard to believe.
It's crazy that he even swung at that pitch.
I know it.
Wow. Chris Herman struck out his first time up. And he fouls one out of play. You always say the high pitch is tough to lay off.
It's tough to lay off, but I can't believe he hit it. You remember Evan Gaddis when he did it back in Cleveland against Trevor Bauer? He hit the ball, but it was a little more away or middle of the plate, but it was up high. That one was in, and he got the barrel head of the bat out front. That's hard to believe. You will not see many pitches like that, and that thing was no doubt. It's almost like he had to look to see where the ball was at. Watch. He's got to pull the hands in, which he does, and then the barrel gets out front. Look where, did you see what Perez was going to do? He was reaching up in the strike zone. Like it wasn't even there. I can see a low pitch, not one like that.
One ball, 2 strikes. Just missed, and it's 2-2. Chris Herman went from swinging at everything to laying off, and now it's a full count. And there's a high drive, deep right field. Lonnie back looking up, and it's gone. Back-to-back home runs for Minnesota. 2-0 Twins.
It's only the second for Herman. And they get back-to-back. Now this one was right down the middle. I could see that ball where it could get out of the ballpark.
I think that was a breaking ball.
Cutter.
The dreaded spinner.
The cutter. I think it was a cutter. It didn't get in where he wanted it. Gives him a little swinging room. And they get off to back-to-back home runs to start off the 5th.
There's a fastball in for a strike to Eduardo Escobar. And he grounds one to first. Santana will flip it to Tomlin. 1 away. Time for a Mazda game break. Here's Al Pulaski. 2-0 Twins. 1 out. Aaron Hicks, leadoff man to the plate. 1 for 2 on the night. It would seem like all of the offense was at Fenway Park in Boston, where the Red Sox beat Seattle 22-10. You look out there, it's 2-0 here. It's 1-1 Cubs White Sox in the 4th. No score. Astros Tigers in the 5th. Pirates lead the Mets 3-0 there in the 6th. Phillies over Milwaukee 2-1 in the 5th. But there was no shortage of offense today in Beantown. Tomlin, 70 pitches on the night. 50 of those have been for strikes, which is just typical Josh Tomlin. Mike Aviles comes in to make the catch. 2 down.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Kluber. You can visit Indians.com season tickets for the complete details.
Brian Dozier 0 for 2 on the night. And Tomlin gets ahead with a strike. Now this is a guy you might expect to take a pitch that's maybe eyeball high and hit it out for a home run, because he can get on top of a high pitch. Beats it into the ground. Urshela on the move, throws him out. But Minnesota breaks the scoreless game here in the 5th with back-to-back solo jacks. 2-0 Twins. STO Data Strong fan for a chance to have one of your pictures shown during our telecast. It's all courtesy of T-Mobile. Jose Ramirez 0 for 2. He has struck out, grounded out.
He's just trying to get something going. They need base runners. They need them early. One time they had their leadoff man aboard. That was the walk in the 2nd. And Duffy is still get to give up a hit to the Indians going into the 6th. Good curveball tonight for Duffy.
It's off the glove and to the backstop, 3-1.
Okay.
Three balls, one strike. And just did catch the top of the strike zone. Full count.
Well, he took something off of that to get it into the zone, too. That was only 89.
Payoff pitch. And a fastball pulled foul. Well, we'll see if the Indians can answer back here in the 6th. Bears rolls at the second base. And he is retired, one away. Injury report tonight brought to you by the injury lawyers at Oakland. Michael Brantley in a day-to-day situation with the ailing left shoulder. Jason Kipnis hoping to rejoin the club when the Indians head to Boston to take on the Red Sox. There's Michael Brantley back with the ball club along with Ryan Rayburn, who was just activated today from the bereavement list. To make room, the Indians sent Zach Walters back to AAA Columbus. And hopefully the Indians will have Brantley back in the lineup very soon. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Let's go down to Andre, who may have some more information on that.
The latest with Michael Brantley is that he will hit in the cages tomorrow before tomorrow afternoon's ball game. Hopefully he can get back in the lineup Monday when we get to Boston. Now the other thing, the caveat to this is that Jason Kipnis is going to come off the DL most likely. Well, he's allowed to come off Monday. Most likely he's going to come off Tuesday. The only issue that Terry Francona may have is he wants to bring both of them back, probably DHing before playing them in the field. So there could be some moving around of guys to get them both in the lineup early next week in Boston.
I was going to say, are we allowed to have 2 DHs, only put 7 guys out on the field?
He asked me, can we put a softball lineup out there?
Yeah, right.
2 DHs. I don't think they're going to let us do that in Boston.
No, I don't think so.
You know, if there was one outfield where you might be able to get away with it, you can just play your shortstop a little deeper and he can handle left field.
Play him out in the grass.
Lindor lines one to right center field. That's in the gap. Hunter can't cut it off. Lindor on his way to second base. He'll go in standing with a 1-out double.
Well, no surprise that he gets the first hit. Continues that hitting streak. It's now at 10 games. And he gets his 9th double. So a nice stroke into the alley in right center field. There's Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Francisco Lindor does it. They finally get their first hit with 1 out in the 6th inning. Nice short swing.
And now we'll see if they can get on the board.
Yeah, they have an opportunity now for the next 2 hitters.
Yan Gomes was called out on strikes, I believe, his last time up. I wrote down he went down looking, but I seem to remember he swung at it, so I can't remember. Just remember a lot of breaking balls in that at bat. Some of them he fouled off.
He chased the final one.
Yeah, that's
he
what I thought.
In and he was upset with himself. He ended up chasing it in the dirt, and the catcher had to tag him.
Back to the screen, 1-1. Pulls the string on him, and it's 1-2. That breaking ball has been an equalizer tonight.
Well, and no hitter has been able to hit it. I mean, there you'll see he starts it out of the zone, but he's getting them to chase it. You see, that's one there where it starts out mid-thigh, but by the time it gets into the zone, it's out of the zone. But he's been able to get him to swing and miss. He may throw another one here. What he did the last time, he elevated the fastball after a curveball to take him off of it, and then got him with the breaking ball. There it is again.
Wow.
Same pitch as the last strikeout.
7th strikeout of the night.
Again, it's going to start out, and watch where it starts. It starts mid-thigh. It ends up right at the plate. You get a lot of swings and misses as a pitcher with that breaking ball if it's on home plate, but it's in the dirt. And he has had a beauty tonight, and the hitters can't stop from swinging at it.
Left-hander Brian Dunsing up in the bullpen, but Duffy's still shy of 90 pitches on the night.
Boy, this is everything Paul Molitor was looking for out of that rotation. I'm sure they felt like, boy, we don't know what we're going to get from this guy tonight after his last start. But he comes back, and the first time he's towed the rubber here at his home ballpark, he has loved it. This is actually the first time you've seen this ballpark coming in last night off the road. He was in here for Fan Fest earlier in the wintertime. That was his only look at the ballpark, but I think he likes the look from the mound right now.
Carlos Santana 0 for 2 tonight. 0 for 7 now in the series. Herman going to go out for a brief chat. He's behind 2-0. Seemed like that visit to the mound was prompted by someone in the dugout, whether it was Molitor or pitching coach Neil Allen.
Yeah, it could be.
He's falling behind. Don't fall asleep and just
throw him a cookie.
One down the middle.
Absolutely. You could go at him here. He's had a good changeup tonight at times. Throw him a 2-0 changeup if he's a good fastball hitter. There it is, the breaking ball away. That's the.
He's had it all night.
Well, why not throw it 2-0? He's got a feel for it. Go right ahead and use it. He does. And he gets the strike called.
Tried to wrap it around the outside corner, but he missed.
Tried to make that one better than he did the 2-0 pitch. Well, all you have to do is just throw the same pitch. But that happens to pitchers. They want to make a better pitch than they did the pitch before and just overthrew that curveball.
Missed inside, ball 4. He's walked his 5th. And now the Indians have 2 on with 2 out.
Well, it was a good pitch. He didn't give in. He went inside with the fastball, but he missed it off the plate. So fans can enjoy a $2 Miller Lite cans pregame. That'll take place Friday, August 28th. The Indians will host Albert Pujols and the Angels. Also, it's Dollar Dog Night all night long. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Giovanni Urshela with 2 on and 2 out. He's walked twice. Now look at his first 2 at bats. A lot of pitches in off the plate, pushing him back. Does he look in here early in the at bat?
He could if he wants. Got a breaking ball in there and fouled it off.
That's say he was looking in.
Yeah, it's not where he wanted it. The pitcher I'm talking about. He didn't want to throw it in there because one swing when you throw it inside, could give the Indians a lead. You get into the middle part to the late part of the ball game. You don't want to make a mistake there. He's thrown it so well all night long.
Tomlin hoping that Urshela can get into one here. It's a bouncer to short. Throw to first on the money. Now the Indians get their first hit, but they fail to score, and we go to the last half of the 6th. 2-0 Minnesota. Well, the wind has not been blowing in the Indians' sails offensively tonight. They have been shut out on just one hit through 6 innings. And as we go to the bottom of the 6th, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Trevor Plouffe will take aim against Josh Tomlin. That man right there in the cream colored jersey, Tyler Duffy, has done a number on the Indians tonight in just his 2nd major league start. Joe Mauer singled in the 1st, reached on an error in the 4th. Indians get the bullpen up as Tomlin fields the little tapper. 1 away. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. In the 5th, back-to-back, Eddie Rosario. Watch this pitch up in his eyeballs.
That's unbelievable.
And then the next man up on a 3-2 count, Chris Herman, had a little spinner that hung, and he hammered it. And that's been it. Only 2 runs for Minnesota. Otherwise, Tomlin's only allowed 2 singles. He struck out 4.
Yeah, that's fine. I could see the 1 home run ball. The other one, it's hard to believe he hit it out, but he did. But offensively, you're going to have to score. And to this point, the Indians have been held to 1 hit.
And ironically, this has been the Indians' best stretch offensively all season long, with 5 runs scored or more in 6 out of their last 7 games.
Yeah.
Line drive to left, base hit for Sano. And a 1-out single for the big guy.
Yeah, that one stayed. Again, that looks like a little cutter or slider that stayed up. So Sano took advantage of it. He gets the single. 5 hits now for Minnesota.
Trevor Plouffe 0 for 2. Kyle Crockett, the left-hander, heating up for Cleveland. I could be wrong, but I don't think Miguel Sano is going to be taken off anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. Well, he's got that big lead, about 26 inches. Oh, he's off a little bit more, make it 36.
Stop by Lindor, goes to second. There's one on the first. Double play!
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Spectacular inning-ending double play turned by Francisco Lindor. A diving stop on the pick. They get 1, then 2. at mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. Francisco Lindor helps get the Indians out of the inning. Now we'll see if the bats can get going against somebody other than Tyler Duffy, who went 6 one-hit shutout innings in his second major league start here tonight. Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is for Casey Fiend, and he'll be facing Almonte Perez and Chisenhall for Cleveland here in the 7th.
He's made a couple of appearances last time in Cleveland. An inning in both starts. He gave up 3 hits in the 1 inning, gave up a run. And the second time, just 1 inning, 1 hit. But boy, what a difference a start makes for Tyler Duffy. He was he did walk 5, but I'll tell you what, he had a nice curveball working. He stayed out of the middle of the plate and allowed just the 1 hit. So he's in line if the bullpen can hold it for his first major league win. Long way to go. The Indians have 9 outs left.
Ground ball right at the second baseman, Dozier. Almonte retired 1 away. How about this play again?
It was spectacular.
Stop's unbelievable.
I mean, just to get it up over there, and they turned it easily. I mean, look how quickly he gets up. That ball looked like it was by him. His glove was coming down. And boy, I've seen these two have turned some really nice double plays. Look at that. You know, a lot of times that'll get you going when you're on the road. A great defensive play. It could spark that offense a little bit. That's what I was hoping somebody could get on here. Great play.
Well, let's see if Roberto Perez can get it going. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. And a foul back.
The fans that were sitting here watching it loved it. They thought it was a great play.
Maybe great wouldn't be the word they'd use to describe it, but
they may swear at him, but they appreciated it. It's a fun thing to watch. I don't care who does it.
the only other sport where you get that, where you get the like, let's say the home crowd for a visiting player, you get them to go, whoa, would be, especially at the lower amateur levels, when a guy comes down and just makes an unbelievable dunk in basketball.
Yeah.
Even the home crowd goes, whoa, that was pretty impressive.
Well, I don't care who you are, you had to like that play.
Upstairs with it. 2-2. Missed outside with it. Full count.
Okay.
Swung on and missed. Boy, Perez might have chased ball 4, but it's a borderline high fastball, tough to lay off in that situation, but he couldn't catch up, and he is a strikeout victim for the 3rd time tonight. Let's go down to Andre.
You want to talk about appreciating defense. Last night when we left the clubhouse, Francisco Lindor, who was thrown out at second base on a single that he tried to turn into a double, was thrown out by Rosario. Remember that play? And remember how he put the gun in the holster? So they had their phone, and it was Gio and Lindor, and they're looking at it laughing. And Gio goes, I think you owe him one, after he watched that play last night. So they have appreciated what they've seen from the left fielder of the Twins this weekend as well. And it seems like there's a battle of who can do whatever you can do, I can do better between them.
You're right, Andre. We've seen it. We've seen it amongst teammates, and you definitely see it from opponents. Boy, the Indians can't take advantage of the spark provided by Lindor's defense, though. They go 1, 2, 3, and we've reached the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Torrey Hunter leads off the bottom of the 7th for Minnesota and goes after the first pitch, fouling it back. Andre had a great interview with Torrey Hunter before the ball game. It aired on Indians Live. One of the things he told him was how special it is that he gets noticed and respected by Terry Francona. He said when he comes up the bat, Terry tips his cap to him. He said, to me, that's the ultimate sign of respect in baseball. When someone tips their cap to you, that says they respect the way you do your business, the way you play the game.
Well, we've seen him come up as a kid.
Yeah,
What, 16 years ago. And yeah, he plays the game the right way. He respects the game.
He respects the rivalry between Minnesota and Cleveland. He told Andre, hey, we've had some battles. We've had our differences over the years.
That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
He strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. Tomlin's had his number. He's 0 for 3.
But Josh is going to be done. He goes the high fastball, elevates it. Hunter can't catch up to it. Good pitch by Josh, and actually a good night by Josh. His night coming to an end now after giving up just 5 hits. 2 of them just happened to leave the ballpark.
Good effort, though, for his first pitching
was.
outing of the season. He goes 6 1/3, gives up 2 runs. And so timeout as Kyle Crockett comes in when we come back. join us tomorrow afternoon. We wrap up the series. Carlos Carrasco goes against Tommy Malone. Our coverage begins at 1:30 with Indians Live. First pitch at 2 right here on Sports Time Ohio. Kyle Crockett on for the Indians. You got back-to-back left-handed hitters due up. Eddie Rosario and Chris Herman.
Yeah, that's probably the two guys that Crockett is on to retire.
First ball swinging. Clobber deep center. Back goes Almonte. Onto the warning track. 2 down.
Well, back in the 5th inning, this guy hit a fastball up and in. I don't know how he got the barrel of the bat to the ball, but he did. And it broke a scoreless tie in the 5th, made it 1-0.
Would that classify him as a bad ball hitter?
I don't know, but you know, that's amazing. That's like hitting a slow pitch softball up there. You know what I mean? Where you can hit it and at least get the barrel head of the bat to it.
Herman fouls that off to the left.
And left-handed hitters are normally known to be down and in hitters, although not all of them are. But
you know, you think about just the sheer physics, everything that has to go right for that ball to go out of the park. The pitch is high. He's got to get his bat just on the right angle that's up. It's completely abnormal from the swings he takes 100 times a day.
Right.
And yet he just met it perfectly.
Yeah, it was perfectly right. And it jumped too. See it take off?
It sure did. Oh, what do they say? Get the barrel to the ball. Good things will happen. The 1-2 to Herman. On the ground. Ramirez inning over. Twins go 1-2-3. We go to the 8th. Minnesota 2, Cleveland nothing. And may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care, coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. We go to the 8th inning, and Minnesota is in front by a score of 2-0. Twins go back to their bullpen after Casey Fiend worked the 1-2-3-7. Kevin Jepson comes on a pitch here in the 8th. Mike Aviles, then Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. It's one of those nights, Rick, where it's only 2-0. it feels like a lot more because the Indians they just haven't one hit.
Well, yes, offensively it does. Although, you know, the 2 home runs left the park, but you get one guy on and the tying run comes to the plate. So that's the way you have to look at it. The pitching it's been a good ball game. Minnesota only has 5 hits.
And Mike Aviles takes a strike. It's downstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Aviles broke his bat off the end, and Bauer takes it himself.
Well, grab some friends and catch a game at the new Corner Bar, which is open to all fans at Progressive Field. It's a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio, and tickets are going quickly, so get yours today. Go to Indians.com.
Ramirez taking a called strike. Jose 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 7 in the series. Minnesota has done a number on him in this series so far. Checks on a ball that's high. Now ball headed up the middle, but cut off by Dozier. Yeah. 2 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Francisco Lindor with just a great play defensively.
You will not see a better double play turn. I promise you that. That's about as good as you can get right there, and they had time to spare. How quickly he got up to his feet. He liked it.
Now the 2-0. There's a strike to the outside corner. I know some people might look at this game tonight and say, well, kind of the same old Indians, no offense. But the way these guys have been swinging the bats lately, and this is essentially a different team from the one that was out here for the first 100 games this season. this is one of those nights where you just have to say, you know what, Tyler Duffy, the starter, was really good. He had a tremendous curveball.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with giving a guy credit when he does a good job. They're major leaguers as well. He had a very good curveball.
I mean, this game it's far from over yet, but I'm just thinking to myself, I think that guy was really good.
It doesn't matter. The Twins, they were one hit last night. They're going to say, what are they going to say? It was Kluber.
Well, that's what got me thinking about this, is because Paul Molitor said after the game last night, it's not that he didn't give Kluber praise, but he said, we kind of fell into the same pattern. We didn't make the adjustments from the last game that we needed to make.
That's what you have to do. I mean, they did make an adjustment to Duffy because they kept swinging at his breaking ball out of the strike zone. That's why he had 7 punch-outs.
Lindor with a ground ball single up the gut. Just got it by Dozier. Keeps the inning alive with 2 down, and the tying run will come to the plate.
This kid just continues to hit. He's up right around the 300 mark now. That is unbelievable. Got himself a nice fastball here. Down and away. Stayed on it. Put a good swing on it. It finds a hole up the middle. So the only 2 hits of the night belong to Frankie at first base, but that brings the tying run to the plate.
Gomes cuts and misses. Chop right back to him. The flip to first ends the inning. Jepson works a scoreless 8th. Twins stay in front 2-0. Taking a look back at our keys to the game, brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Table setters for the Indians. Jose Ramirez 0 for 4. Lindor's been on 3 times, but the Indians unable to capitalize it. Josh Tomlin used a big part of the park. Look, he did a great job. Gave up 2 solo home runs. You know, if you get a 6 in the third, 2 runs allowed from your starter every time out, you take that and move
Josh
on
was
every
fine.
time.
So usually we say solo home runs don't really beat you, and they don't. But you know, today when you don't score, there's not much you could do. Unfortunately, they just came back-to-back hitters. So Shaw coming on for the 50th time.
And he's got Eduardo Escobar, the number 9 hitter, and then Hicks and Dozier, top of the order. Just a bit outside, ball 1.
I think Minnesota needed a game like this for their own psyche from their pitching staff, just to keep them in a game and where they feel like they don't have to score a boatload of runs to win it. It's still, we're going to see Perkins, I'm sure, in the 9th, but the Indians are right there.
Why it's so important for Shaw to come out and put up a 0 here in the 8th. And a 3-1 pitch, or a 3-0 pitch in for a strike to make it 3-1 on Escobar. He has popped up, grounded out on the night. Pulls that foul, full count. Got a piece, stays alive.
Come on, let's go. Leave him.
1-0. Just missed inside, and it's ball 4. Hey, weekdays, don't miss America's pregame as Mike and Molly bring you live reports from around the country from the latest NFL training camps. Get you ready for a full night of baseball action. America's pregame every weekday at 5 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Hicks showing bunt, pulled it back, took a ball. He's 1 for 3 on the night. One-0 pitch, runner goes. Swinging a little topper right out in front of the plate. Perez says, I've got it. Throws it on at first.
Nice call. Little hit and run action there. They started the runner instead of giving up the out. But you see, Matt, that's the key with Hicks there. You get the job, you get the ball on the ground, and you get your job done.
Yep.
You know, he had to go up and out of the zone to get this. Maybe not something he wanted to swing, but there's a communication where Perez calls off Shaw, spins and makes the throw to get the runner. But now they job accomplished. They get their runner in scoring position.
That may have worked out better for Hicks, because had he hit that ball hard to the left side, one of those infielders might have gone to second and got the force there anyway in turn 2, the way they've been playing.
Well, they have a 2-0 lead and a chance to add to it is the bottom line here.
Well, Dozier's 0 for 3 on the night. And he takes high, ball 1. 1 from Shaw. Hit hard. Deep left. Goodbye. Brian Dozier with a dagger. His 25th home run of the year.
Well, he tied him up the first time, but he didn't get that ball inside. I don't know if it was a fastball or a cutter, but Dozier did what he does to a lot of people when he gets something up in the zone. He hits it a long way. Watch, they wanted it away, and that's up. Fastball up. That's right into his wheelhouse, believe it or not. So Dozier will hit his 25th homer. Their third of the game.
And up comes Joe Mauer, 1 for 3 on the night. It all started with a lead-off walk. Bouncer to first. Santana will go himself. 2 down. And now Miguel Sano. Dozier's had quite a year. 25 home runs. I mean, he could end up with 30 before the season's over. And I think that's within his reach.
Yeah. That's not stretching it. He's going to get some more high fastballs right there. He's not going to miss.
I mean, even in the 90s when home runs were flying left and right, you didn't see many second basemen hitting 30 home runs. I think when Alfonso Soriano obviously had some big years with the Yankees.
Yeah, oh yeah, he sure did. Well, Dozier's a guy that most of them are in the same spot, left field. He pulls them because he's so quick on the fastball. He's not a guy that takes it the other way and tries to shoot you out to right field. I would bet most of those home runs have been to left field.
Yeah, I'd like to see his home run spray chart.
I would too.
It's probably just one thick line, left field, straight, boom.
There you go. 23 to left now. Thank you, boys. See, they quick work down in the truck. Only 2 to center field. That's it.
Oh, he was leaning back trying to rip that out. Full count. They're going the wave here at Target Field. Strike 3 called, inning over. Oh, Brian Dozier. He goes deep. And a clutch spot for Minnesota, extending their lead to 4-0. All right, we head to the 9th. Indians' last chance. And they've got a tough customer in Glenn Perkins. 30 out of 32 in save situations. Carlos Santana to lead it off, takes a strike. Just missed inside. It is not a save situation for Perkins, but when you're Paul Molitor, you want to win. You don't want to mess around.
Yeah, and he was up ready to come in anyway. And when it was
Before
a two-run
homer,
when it was a two-run game, so you come in, you get him some work, and Santana's going to have to get him a new bat, I would think.
That's one of those situations that people that haven't been on the field per se in Major League Baseball, they don't quite understand the importance and the effects of when you get a guy up. See, this is just what he's pitched. But when a guy gets up and he throws, those pitches count too, because he's throwing in the bullpen. It may not be 100%, but he's 75, 80, whatever.
Yeah.
And if you get a guy up and he gets hot, as the manager, you feel like, well, we might as well use him because he's up, he's hot, he's ready to go.
And they haven't had many opportunities for a save because they've been down so many runs. So he's pitched one day the last week.
That's a good start for the Indians.
Now Santana has tremendous numbers against Perkins. Now 7 for 12.
He's got a leadoff double. That's the Indians' second extra base hit. Their first hit of the night was a double by Lindor in the 6th.
Watch this pitch upstairs, a breaking ball that Santana stays on and then throws it to right field. So the leadoff double, that's what's upsetting, 2-0 game. Then you would have the tying run coming to the plate, but they were able to add on and score 2. So now they have a lot more work to do.
Giovanni Urshela has walked twice. Grounded out his last time up. It was a key spot too. Indians had 2 on and 2 out in that 6th. Really their only, and I mean only, opportunity to score in the game. Fouled back. Urshela ropes one just foul. Boy, if that stays fair, now you got some heat. Kansas City Royals well on their way to becoming the first 70-win team in the American League and only the second in all of baseball. They lead the Angels 9-1 in the 7th. Urshela rolls one to third. Plouffe looks the runner at second back. 1 down. Pretty good matchup. Tigers Astros. I believe that was Verlander and McHugh.
Yeah, sure was. Still 1-0
in the 8th inning. Tigers on top. Almonte drives one deep center field. Hicks back. Makes the catch. On On his way to third is Santana, but now there are 2 down. And that will bring up Roberto Perez, who's 0 for 3, has struck out all 3 times. Missed inside, ball 1. They had 26,910 here last night. I bet they have at least that many again here this evening. Fly ball right field near the line, and it is off the wall, off the top of the fence. Perez has to slam on the brakes and hold with a long 2-out RBI single. The Indians get on the board. They trail it 4-1. Perez just missed hitting that ball out of here.
Well, he was heading to second base until he realized Hunter make that play. That went a long way. A high fastball that leaked up and away in the strike zone, and it's down the line, and you can see it does not. I mean, right off the top of the wall. No, Hunter gets it back in. He saw it. Uh-oh. He got it. That's okay. They get on the board. Now Sands is going to pinch hit for Chisenhall.
And a swing and a miss. Sands 2 for 3 as a pinch hitter. And of course, he had that grand slam in a pinch hit role back in Cleveland. And that pinch hit grand slam came against the Twins.
Yeah.
Came off Blaine Boyer, who I think just went on the DL. Swung on and missed.
Little tardy on the heater from Glenn Perkins. Fans getting to their feet, looking for the 3rd out.
Swing and a miss, and the game is over. Minnesota hangs on to win it by a final score of 4-1. And they even the series at a game apiece. It was just excellent pitching by Tyler Duffy, the starter, who gets his first major league win. And a couple of long balls from Minnesota. Rosario and Herman with back-to-back solo shots, and then Dozier with a 2-run homer in the 8th off Brian Shaw. And that is our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game.
Yeah, you're looking at a 2-0 ball game until he gets a high fastball that he's able to hit into the seats, his 25th home run, and that's a guy that you don't mess around upstairs with him. You got to keep the ball down. Shaw